Chad, thank you very much. And North Dakota Republican Senator Kevin Cramer is a member of the Budget Committee. He joins us now. Senator, the GOP, as you heard, expected to reduce that federal extra $600 down to $200. Do you think House Democrats are going to go for that?
Well, Charles, I don't think they will go for that. They clearly want that $600 unemployment bonus on top of the unemployment insurance benefit that they already receive. To Republicans, that's a non-starter, I guess you could say, which is why I think $200 is a good starter. I don't know where we end up, but we clearly, if we're going to get the economy going again and allow the private sector to create more jobs, we have to stop incenting people to not work and start incenting businesses to hire. And we simply can't do another $600 on top of what they're already getting.
You know, I did some math on Mnuchin saying 70% of what they were receiving. I got to tell you, with the extra $200, it might be tough. In Alabama, the max unemployment is $275. Arizona, it's $240. Florida is $275. Louisiana, $247. And Michigan, a swing state, $235. The numbers are going to be very low if you just give $200 more. We understand that we want to disincentivize people sitting at home and not working, making more money not to work. But do you think ultimately this number might be closer to $300? And if that's the case, how many Democrats are you going to have to woo? Because it sounds like you're going to lose a lot of Republicans.
Yeah, well, so you raise an important point about the negotiation. 300, certainly between 200 and 600, so is 400, so is 500. The reality is the higher you go with that number, the more Republicans you lose, and perhaps that means the more Democrats you get. I would just say to my own Republican colleagues, to Lindsey Graham's point, let's not let there be half of us that vote against it no matter what. Let's come up with a conservative solution, or at least more conservative than the Democratic solution, lest we just throw 20 of our members under the bus and force them to vote for a $3 trillion or $3.5 trillion package. But that's why the negotiations will begin in earnest right away. I think the Speaker's onto something. Let's get all the leaders into her office or some other office as soon as the blueprint is out and begin the process of showing each other's cards.
Yeah, the optics don't look that great because the Democrats came up with that gargantuan $3.5 trillion bill, right. But it was like a month ago, right? They said, hey, we put something on the table. You have had all of this time and you're still hashing it out. We were promised something last week. We did get a slogan, but we didn't get a plan. And so still everyone's hashing it out. And I'm really concerned that Republicans are going to blow this.
Well, if your concern is that we don't look that great, just remember that Democrats gave their proxies, all the Democrats in Congress give their proxy to Nancy Pelosi, and she can come up with any big number she wants with all these policy liberal fantasies that she wants, and they just pass it. Republicans are a little more independent-minded than that. We have people that are equally concerned about debt and deficit as they are about the economy, as they are about unemployment insurance, and so it takes a little more of a process. Also remember this, we weren't in a hurry to come up with a plan because we wanted to see how the CARES Act played out first, see how those credit tools work, see how the Paycheck Protection Program works, see how the unemployment insurance program works, incent the right things. And now we have the advantage of history and the lessons we learned to fine-tune some of these programs and projects and not come up with a $3 trillion package, but rather something that's more modest, like $1 trillion. I think that's the responsible approach, Charles.
Sir, with July 31st looming large, is there a chance, if there's not a big package hammered out in that time frame, that there'll be an extension of things like extra unemployment, a moratorium on evictions? Could those things be pushed through to buy more time?
Could they, Charles? Sure, they always could, but I will tell you why we don't like to talk about them too close to the deadline. And I know it seems like it's really close to the deadline, but because you don't want to remove the incentive to get it done. Nothing moves this town and the institution of Congress like deadlines, fiscal cliffs, vacations, whatever the case might be. And so I like to feel the pressure and apply the pressure that comes with a deadline. But what you're talking about certainly could happen. I think there would be some interest in certain things that are critically important, like recognizing that some people can't get a job in this environment. At the same time, they need to feed their families, and their rent. But also that businesses need an incentive to hire people. And one of the incentives to hiring people is to have a workforce available and willing to go to work.
Senator Cramer, thank you very much. Always appreciate it.